All right, welcome to Comic Book Radio. I'm your host, Peter Cimetti. This is episode 106, and tonight my guest is Jason BASCOM. We're going to be talking about overcoming adversity as an artist. Jason is quite a talented dude, but he's up against something that I'm going to talk to him about tonight, among other things. He's got a YouTube, he's got a project coming out as well. All the links are in the description of the show. Also, tonight is going to be, I've been trying to do this, but it's been tough. It's going to be a return to normalcy in terms of the format of the show. All right, because I'm finding that we're having some really great conversations, but sometimes I should just end them and we'll pick them up another day and have the guest come back. So 1 hour shows at the halfway point or so. Play a trailer, quick little break, and then I'll put the invite link for you guys in the chat. And you guys can come on the show if you want, if you've got a question or comment for the guest. Sound good? All right. Before we get started, Real JBC says, I've been waiting for 79 minutes. No big deal. Well, awesome. Thank you. And, yeah. Thank you. Blastbeat Industries says, question number 1. How dare you? Sorry. Let's see. Frederick says, classes pain 101. Exactly. Bloody Teddy narrations. Blue Teddy narrations. It's a live show. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Blue Teddy. Bloody Teddy. I swear. Can't read tonight. Shrek PMC says, hello, Pete. Chat. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing good, Shrek. Half Squatch. Hope you're doing well. Easy come, easy go. Hello and goodbye then, Half Squatch. We knew you for such a short time. Real JBC, what's up? Grey Wolf says, hey Chad. Hey Real Grey Wolf, hope you're doing well. Death Metal Hero in the house as well says, what's up Pete and Jason? Morb 357. What's up, Morb? Thank you for being here tonight. Hex Allen Comics in the house as well. What's up? Shane O'Sullivan is here. Good early morning to you as well. Shane, of course, hailing from Ireland. Thank you, Shane, for being here. Silvar, what's up, Silvar? Hope you're doing good. We got Morb saying, hey, Pete, that time of year I get out my Alterna beanie. Indeed. These things will keep you warm. They will. Blue Teddy says, how'd you know about my alter ego, Pete? Well, it was a good guess, I guess, you know. Bloody Teddy. Johnny Slaction in the house. What's up, Johnny Slaction? Hope you're doing well. Says, formats are overrated. Now go off the rails. Now we got to rein it back in. Because truth be told, I got fulfillment coming up very soon. And I got to get used to getting back to a 1 hour format. Which means I gotta stop with the dawdling. I love Haggis. What's up? Thank you for being here tonight. And all right, that's it for the hellos. Without further ado, let's bring him on. Man of the hour, Mr. Jason BASCOM. What's up?
Yeah, I like 1 hour formats. But the thing is, like you had Gary on and stuff. To me, that requires more of 1 hour. Like when you have somebody that big on. You know, that you want to really delve into, like what, you know, all the stuff that they have going on in their noggin. So, but
we have to be more concise. I guess that's all it is. And then
I get it. Like
I
like the 1 hour. It's enough that people can watch the replay too. You know, they don't see 3 hour time clock there and they're just like, oh wow, I don't want to watch that. So
yeah. I think I don't know if we've approached 3 hours when I had a guest on. I don't think I've done that yet, but maybe. If we did maybe once, but no Spicer, no 4 hour format. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
Dude, when Luke and I are doing topic lists, after 2 hours, man, I'm starting to just drain. I'm just like, even though we're drawing, I'm like, I'm just dying out. Like I can't.
Yeah, you can't get out of the chair.
Yeah,
You start melting in.
yeah, exactly, man. You're just like, oh, and not only that, you do run out of things to talk about. There's only so many things that can be said in a course of even amongst like 6 people on a panel. So, yeah, it gets brutal. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. But man, I want to talk to you tonight because I've been wondering for the longest time why when your videos pop up, it says blind guide draws, right? So then I go to your page today and I'm like, oh man, you got an eye issue, you got a degenerative eye condition, and I thought you were just being cheeky the whole time.
You mean like I needed reading glasses or something, which I do wear, but yeah, no, yeah, I was diagnosed at the age of 23 with it's called retinitis pigmentosa, and the easiest way to go about describing what it does is like bruising on the retina. So the intake of light is very different, and like things get. That's why like anyone who sees me draw on my art table, they'll see like it's kind of like a Pollock painting on the background. It's a white table, but there's so much black everywhere it's covered. I don't clean it because then I could see the paper. Like otherwise I don't know where the edges of the paper are because they blend into the white background where a normal human being can discern from them just fine. But yeah, it just it's bruising on the retina. My left eye is practically completely blind. I can see a little bit out of the bottom, and there's some people say it's like tunnel vision. You have tunnel, and I don't think it's not tunnel vision though, because to me a tunnel is like a little hole, like you can see out of a hole. I have a line going through my good eye, so I'm actually drawing out of peripherals whenever I'm drawing or looking at things. I don't really read anything anymore half the time, but which sucks because I collect comics. I can just never read them, and it sucks because I get King Cryptid. I'm like I look through it. The artwork's fantastic. I would have to get my phone out and like zoom in with the camera lens and then read each letter. Dude, it's treacherous trying to read a comic, man. It's brutal, but
I'll have to do like, and I'm really interested in this because I loved him when I was growing up. I want to try to do like a audio comic, because I love those book and record comics.
Yeah,
when I was a kid. And try to get voice actors involved or whatever to do that. Rob Geronimo does a great job with his Blood Realm stuff. He does all the voices and gets into it and does effects and stuff. And
well, Kill 'Em Dead, they have their campaign. They have like a rock opera. Like it comes with an album, and I guess the album goes like it's what the comic is. So you listen to it and then you flip the pages. From what I hear, that's pretty cool. Like you can get it on vinyl or digital, stuff like that. And that's not because of people like me. And granted, I am the smallest niche, and like you got me and Fanta that pretty much are blind in this comics community that we have going on. So to cater to that is kind of ridiculous, and I know it, like because it's so minute, dude.
Well, it's not like I'm trying to cater. It's just more I wanted to do this for a while,
And it's still
that
cool,
would
though.
be to kind of turn. And I hate the idea of turning comics into a passive entertainment format. Because like music is a passive like comics reading is active. You gotta stop doing what you're doing, and But I do like having stuff on and listening while I'm working or whatever it may be. And
well, I'm the same, man.
You can still see the visual if you wanted to and things like that.
Well, and not only that though, when you're reading a comic, you're putting their voices in. So if you hear somebody else reading it to you or acting it out, you're like, that's not how they sound. Like you're going to be like, that's not how Gambit sounds, or whoever it may be. Yeah. So there does come that disconnect at that point. Whenever you're reading a comic, you're totally immersed. Like I wasn't always like this. It started at the age of 23. So, and it wasn't always as bad. I was able to read all through college and all that stuff. So I was okay. It's only in the past few years where it's gotten to where I can't really read without some kind of aid. But either which way, I still was able to read and collect comics and stuff like that. It's just only recently, but it's still a good idea, I think. And there are people that are, I know, I don't want to say who, but there's somebody who plans on doing that, where they're having their characters being read by people in a play. They're going to read it and they're going to send it out as a digital format, and you can then,
cool.
Yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, he's a friend of mine, so he kind of is like, oh, this would be good for Jason, but it'll be good for everybody too, because they're actually going to enact it as a play. So that's really awesome. So
yeah.
And like I said, you can then maybe also even reach an audience that was even disconnected at one point. Like, yeah, let's say you're completely blind. Like I'm not completely blind, and I don't mean to when I have blind guy draws, I don't mean to throw throw shade at people who are totally blind. I feel for them, I truly do, but it's still not a misnomer. But it's still another community. Like I'm not saying we're trying to reach the blind community, but it would be great if a blind person's like, hey, I really want to know more about these superheroes that are in the movies because they can hear the movies. Like it would be like, but they can't. They just can't do it. So if there's like an actual audio commentary or audio comic, so to speak, they could start actually a comic collection,
Well,
and that's
honestly,
actually kind of cool.
on top of it too, though, and I think if anyone's gonna get offended by that, like I was never offended by that. I thought you were just being like tongue in cheek with yourself and being a bit of kind of beating yourself up or something, or that kind of self-deprecation, you
Oh, I
know.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like you're pretty
Well,
good, man. Like what are you talking
well,
about? But the thing is so my bigger point is this: knowing what you're going through, and you're not just stopping dead in your tracks, and you're not just screaming to the world, "Oh, woe is me! I can't do anything ever. I'm useless. I'm done. I'm kaput." You know, you're doing whatever you can, and you're just still doing your thing. And I think that that's incredibly inspiring. And I think that that's something too that other people, if they're going through anything that you're going through in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not directly the same thing,
right.
that it shows that hey, look, here's someone else also doing what they want to still do with their life.
Yeah, and well, it helps that me like I was born with like I don't and as creatives we don't know what that drive is that makes us want to do creative things. Like it's just built into us. There's a drive. Like you can't say like oh talent is born in you. Some people have to really work for it, but they just love to create. And it's something that not everybody has. So whenever we have it, it's like it once we don't do it for a couple days or a week, you start to get like an itch or something. So I've always had that. I've always wanted to be creative, and so like I said, it wasn't always my vision wasn't always like this. But I always grew up like with the muscle memory of drawing and doing all that stuff. So and I've also grown up. My life isn't like beds of roses. I mean, whose is, but I didn't have an easygoing life growing up in general. My family life is great. I'm not saying anything about that. I just mean health wise like I was born with kidney disease. The blindness came because of the kidney disease. I have other conditions that are on top of that. So I never was a give up type of person. And I always thought if I'm going to do something, Young Guns, dude. In Young Guns, remember where he tells the story about the three people, the world's ending and the three people. He's like, I shall finish the game. I love that line, dude, because the world's ending and he's like, you know what? I'm going to finish the game. No matter what happens, I'm going to go out doing what I'm doing. Dude, that stuck with me for a long time. It still does. I love that line, man. Because, yeah, no matter what, like, you have the Rocky quote. Dude, I love that quote. Life keeps hitting you. You know, it's about not hard you can hit, but hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Dude, it's so true. It's the truest thing ever. And when I've heard that, like, you know, I had that belief structure anyway. And then I heard it in Balboa. I'm like, dude, they worded it how I couldn't. Like, it was perfect. So, and I understand, like, and I get depressed too, man. I get like, oh, there was a page in Frog G that I drew. And because with Frog G, I do it a little differently, but I do the outline digital, print it, and then ink it. But, so I was trying to do some detail in a girl's hair. And I wasn't detailing in between the lines. I was detailing outside the lines. So it was just like flowing everywhere. And I got mad and I went and did it digitally. And like, I still get angry. I still get depressed about it. Like if I could see 2020, I would be a beast, and I know it. Like it's like if I would have an advantage because I just have this passion and this drive for art. So but I can't see, so I have to do what I can do in order. And it also helps my style. Like I wouldn't probably draw like this if I had full vision. Like it might draw a little differently. So, but take advantage of your weaknesses and use them as strengths. Like I even jumped on Frega's for one of the first few times when he had couch doodles, and I even explained my logo where it's my left eye is not there. It's just my right eye, and I told him that's because I'm blind in that eye. He's like, yeah, dude, awesome. He's like, own it. He's like, just own it, and I always have ever since it started. So yeah, but
Yeah, it produces something that's uniquely yours. You know, like you said,
yeah,
it wouldn't be the same with what you're doing and what you're seeing, what you're able to translate and communicate. Like it might be even more difficult for someone else to do that. Like you're creating something that's unique entirely because you're embracing that and working with it. And like you said, you're taking a weakness and turning it into a strength. So now that weakness necessarily isn't a weakness anymore. And it's obviously going to be frustrating at times. I totally get that. I think we all deal with stuff that
Right.
we all get frustrated with every now and then. We wish this was different. We wish, all these. There's just so many things you can run down a whole gamut of it. But I think what really strikes me is because we live in a day and age where people are almost bending over backwards to become victims constantly and embracing that and looking for stuff to depower themselves so that they get sympathy from people they don't even really know. And it's instead of building themselves up and working on whatever it is that they want to work on to improve, or it's so strange to me. And I think a lot of people, it's difficult for most to relate to that mindset because everyone's dealing with something.
Yes.
No one's just sitting there all day long like, oh, woe is me, you know?
Right, exactly. And like, even in the beginning of everything, because I initially didn't want, because I wanted people to respect and like my artwork because it's good or because of what it is. So initially, from the very beginning, I just kind of hid it. I didn't always say, hey, look, my vision sucks, sorry, this, then that. I kind of would just like present myself, present my book, and Bob's your uncle. So, but I was on a stream and Shay was on with me, and she's like, I didn't even know you couldn't see all that well. I'm like, yeah, I'm blind. And she's like, if I were you, I would just be owning up to that. So yeah, she's like, I'd be owning up to that. But like I said, I really wanted, like, because I don't want people to say, oh, he draws really good for a blind guy. I want people to say he draws really good. You know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%.
And I still want that today, but it's still like, yeah, I do draw well for a blind guy, but I want to draw good for an artist. I want, because I've been doing this for what? Like, I've been starting since I was 10, but for almost 30 years I've been drawing, and so you don't just do all that your whole life and just be like, oh well, he's blind, so he's good. It's like he's good because he's been working on it, he's practicing, he's been drawing every day, he's been working hard and striving forward no matter what happens. So
yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
And it's like I said, it's not even the vision thing. When I was in college, I was on dialysis at the time. And I would have to go to class after a treatment. And I don't know if you know anybody or anybody out there knows anyone that has been on dialysis. It's brutal. It's torture, dude. And so you're drained afterwards. You don't want to even walk half the time. You could easily pass out. I would go to class with blood on my jeans and stuff because the areas where they do the dialysis would start bleeding. And I would just be sitting in class almost just falling asleep drawing. And there would be people not even showing up half the time. And they're healthy as all get out. So I've never been one to be like, I'm not going to do it because of my hindrances. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in spite of them. And it's just something I just never really like to lay down. It's just, I don't know. I never could.
Yeah, it's a great attitude. And man, the world would be such a different place if everybody had that kind of attitude.
No, go ahead.
But I was going to say, it's just, sometimes I think certain people, it drives me nuts. And I'm sorry if this is a little bit negative, but it drives me nuts when people run around and they're like, privilege that, privilege this, privilege whatever. Okay, everyone's privileged over something else if you want to really go crazy about it.
Yeah.
And everyone, if you trace their ancestors all the way to whatever, everyone's screwed someone over. It's just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it continues to happen still, so yeah.
Yeah, but how does that impact today for you? Mm-hmm. How does that make it so that you make a better today to make a hopefully better tomorrow? And a lot of people get so caught up in their past or the past of like someone else that they never even knew that was like so long ago and that they never would have known ever if they didn't do some ancestry.com test or some crap and give some corporation their DNA so they could do God knows what with it. But, that kind of thing. And working on yourself instead of trying to tear others down or tear yourself down constantly. And we all beat ourselves up every now and then, right? We all kind of, but you really got to have that attitude to persevere because that's just everything. That's just everything. I've seen so many people that are amazing, wonderful people, and they give themselves so much crap all the time. They just beat themselves up all the time.
And it's also, to me, it's also key and very important to try to surround yourself with people who encourage you and understand. Like, encourage you to, like, it's all right, you can do it, don't worry. And also understand, look, times are tough, I know, take a break or do something like that. Like, I'm friends with Dan Plagle. everyone knows what's going on with him right now, and if you don't, he has colon cancer stage 4. He's going through a really rough time.
Oh my God, what?
But
I
things
didn't
are
know that.
kind of like there's off and on like ups and downs. Like sometimes they'll hear good news and they are optimistic about his recovery, so that's good. But like he's going through hell right now. Like he just is. Like,
Man, I
but
can imagine.
he's still like, hey, I can maybe paint miniatures. Hey, I can. Oh, he's been drawn again. That's awesome. Like, but there's times where he just can't. He's so drained. He's like, dude, just don't. Just take a step back. You got to surround yourself with people who actually care and understand, even if they've never gone through anything horrible or tragic, but they're able to reciprocate, able to absorb, and they're able to be there for you. It's very key, even if it's one person, and not everybody has that, and that's what makes it a lot harder for some people. But surround yourself with good friends and good people that are understanding and at least can at least push you forward. Also in those hard times, like I said, Ink Spots is the colorist on Frog G. I mean, he's gone through a lot over the Frog G campaign, and sometimes you have to step back. But like, dude, it's cool. Don't worry about your health first. The pages will wait. The fans will understand. The backers will get it. We're transparent. And so, to me, that's key in supporting your friends and your coworkers on top of it. So, this is the business. Don't get me wrong. I want my books on time. I want my money. I want to make money. But, and I don't want to make money at somebody else's expense. So, your health comes first. Your health comes first. And also, like, just having an understanding with other people. You got to do it. Like, people look at me and I look like a metalhead, or I look like some kind of, I'll pass people in a hallway and not say hi because I can't see them. So people think I'm a jerk, but I'm actually not. I'm a nice guy. So I believe in these things.
Dude, you're one of the nicest, man.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that far, but
well, from what I've known, so I've known a lot of people.
I appreciate it, but no, I appreciate it, but I understand what it's like to go through hardships, so I don't want to project that on other people, and I also don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, well, your life's great, I'm blind, what are you talking about? Or, oh, I have kidney disease. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Everybody has their problems, and they're suffering through them, even if they're minute. It's their problems. Their problems are big for them because they're theirs. So you got to understand that and be like, you know what? I'm like, this person might be going through a hard time. Mine might be worse, but that's not. I'm not their life. They're their life. So you kind of have to just take a step back, and reiterating to them, look, this is hard, but you can push through it. You can move on. You can move forward. You can keep doing what you love to do. And I've always said, even if I lose my left arm, I'm left-handed. I'm going to learn to draw with my right. If I lose my right, I guess I'll try to draw with my feet. I don't know. Or I'll start recording like dialogue, and people can write it out later. I have to be creative in some sense. It's just.
Man, you should be a motivational coach.
Well,
I love this. You're a beautiful dude, man.
Oh no, you're too kind, sir. I mean, physically yes, but I don't know about the inside.
This is just good stuff. This is just stuff that I think more people need to hear, because we live in a time where I'm seeing so many people beating themselves up, beating each other up, giving each other and themselves a hard time. Everyone's not good enough. If you're not the best, you're the worst. You know, just constant stuff like that. And you're right. It's about the attitude that you have, but it's also about finding the right people and surrounding yourself with them and making sure that you're all supportive and encouraging of each other as well. Because that goes a very long way. But yeah, this is just great, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know. These are just things that I don't really externally, I don't say them usually. I just think them and I just believe them. And so I naturally surround myself with, if somebody's a jerk, or, I don't, we're not using the bad words, but if somebody's a pond scum or a jerk, I just don't, why waste my life and my time being around them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't help me. It doesn't benefit me in any way. And my life of being positive and my viewpoint of like that positivity isn't going to affect them because they're a negative attitude. So there's no breaking through to them. You could try, but you're going to fail, because especially at this age. Yeah. If we were younger, you can maybe, have somebody maybe be like, oh, you're right. This isn't as bad as something else. It's still my problem, but my problem is as bad as this problem, so I could deal with it a little easier, or whatever it may be. Oh, pardon me. Sorry. I ate dinner and I'm drinking Celsius and burping all over the place, but so professional, my friend.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dude, I belched on a Malin stream, and he's like, somebody just burped in the microphone. I'm like, sorry, dude, I thought I muted myself. But I felt bad, dude.
That's the worst thing that ever would happen on
well,
John
I felt bad because Phil Diaz hooked me up and got me on. And so Phil's on stream with me. So yeah, it was funny, man. It was a old lore, but yeah, dude. Like I said, I've always surrounded myself with people that are positive in some way, or that just care about me and I care about them. That's kind of key. And
Yeah.
dude, like you said, life's gonna keep hitting you, dude. It hit me from an early age, and I think that helped. Like I think if all this stuff was happening later, it could be a woe is me scenario. I don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
because things have happened throughout my life at such a young age, it built that hardened character that I was like, it's kind of a stubbornness. So you're like, I'm gonna do whatever I can do to do what I love. And kind of help people out along the way, dude. I love seeing it on my channel. Like as Blind Guy Draws, they see the diagnosis. Some people understand what it is, some people don't. There's some people that have issues. There's some people that have problems, and they even say, "Look, you actually inspired me to continue doing what I want to do and what I love." Like, dude, that's so awesome. I mean, honestly, I never intended that to be the thing. Whenever I labeled it Blind Guy Draws, and I would do my little videos, it's just like I'm blind, so I draw. So it was just something cool to seeing people responding. Hey, you're inspiring me, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I never knew I would do that. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
dude. I love it.
that's great, man, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that's happening. And yeah, you deserve that kind of positivity coming back at you.
Oh, thanks. I don't know about deserves, but and also with today's age though, with visual impairments and almost any impairment, technology's there. It can help you. Like aside from AI, we're not going to talk about that. But like, Photoshop, Illustrator, or whatever program it may be, it can help out a lot, especially visual problems. That's one key thing to help me out a lot is to keep drawing. Actually, is a lot of stuff is digital. Some stuff's traditional, like the campaign you had on there, the One Stormy Night. Like this is all traditional, but that's why it's so sloppy
Right.
and so different.
Hold on, let me put you on the full screen there.
So like this is all like I did all this. Usually I don't do pencil work and then do pen and ink, but I wanted this book to be a little different flavor. So this is
Nice.
more scratchy and more all traditional stuff. Only because I wanted that feel. I wanted that look. So otherwise it would be partially like I said with frogs. I do an outline digitally, but then I'll go and print it up. So it's like it's a one-off, but it's still a traditional piece. It's mixed media. So then I'll go in and either do microns or pen and ink, and just thicken it up, add the details, add backgrounds if I want, and so you do have an original piece of artwork. I don't do it with everything, but with comics you got to be a little cleaner sometimes. And dude, I can't count how many mistakes I made, splotches and smears that I accidentally do. It's crazy, but it helps with my style. Like that's kind of helped me get my style that I have today. Like everybody says that, and my style is different from a lot of people, but you could recognize it, and that's why I hang out with who I hang out with. I love the artists that I love because I can recognize their style. Don't get me wrong, I love a traditional comic style, but I really love like the Plagueis and the all the ink spots and the Lukes, the Death Metal Hero and stuff like that. They have a unique style, like a J-Bot. Like these are just underground names that I hang out with. Like I love the big guys. Pete, your style's fantastic. So I still say you should draw more, but
Yeah.
I understand. You
Yeah.
only have so many hours in a day. I
I
get
only got
it.
so many hands.
I
too.
get it, dude. But I remember watching you draw your sketch cards. I'm like, oh, mother of Moses, Pete's good.
That's
I'm
why
like,
I spent so much time trying to get as fast as I possibly could, because time is not my friend.
dude, who is? You know what?
I know,
what
right?
person does have time as their friend? I mean, we're all getting older. We all got one
Right.
foot in the grave.
Clock's a ticking.
Clock's
Speaking of
ticking,
the
dude.
clock ticking, we got halfway into the show, so I'm gonna take
Oh,
a
wow,
quick
it's quick.
little break before I got a series of questions for you when we get back. I'm also gonna put the link in the chat in case someone wants to join and ask you a question as well directly. You guys are watching Comic Book Radio. This is episode 106. I'm your host Peter Cimetti. Tonight my guest is Jason Bascom. We're gonna be right back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. See ya. All right.
Dude. I love Wolf and Beast. I backed the Alternoween, and I got a lot of Wolf and Beast, dude. The art in that is sick, man. That's so good. So
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, Wolf and Batsy's going to be coming out with a
That,
campaign
that one.
in a couple of weeks, and Brian's going to be running it. It's going to be for issues 10, 11, and 12.
What's it called
So,
again?
Wolf and Batsy.
See how blind I am? I thought it was Wolf and Beast.
Like Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, man. Wolf and Beast. I thought it was. So no, I love, dude. I flipped through each one of those. I'm like, this is gorgeous stuff. You know,
Oh,
like
he's a good visual storyteller, so you could really make sense
Yeah.
of the story too without even having
Yeah.
to read it.
Like I said, I got 25 books. I can't read that.
Yeah, no,
It would take me
don't-
18 years to go through it all.
Don't you worry. If I didn't mention the title though, Brian would kill me. So
Oh, well, I'm glad you fixed it for me because
Yeah,
I got it
Wolf-
wrong.
Wolf and
so,
Bats.
Wolf and Bats.
But yeah, so I got the link right here in the chat in case you guys want to pop in
Yeah.
and say hello. Question, comment for Jason, go for it. Jason, I got a question. Well, a couple questions for you. How did you get into art? How'd you get into comics too, specifically?
Well, dude, very young. Well, we were at I was like under the age of 10. I know that. But we were at a grocery store and they were handing out comics for like every $20 you spent or something like that. Because this was in the mid to late 80s. So me and my brothers, we all got comics. My one brother had gotten the first Jim Lee X-Men. My other brother got a Spider-Man book. I can't remember if it was McFarlane or who. And I got a Thor 411. So that was our first, like that. I remember that like my very first issue to this day because it was the first cameo appearance of the New Warriors. And it was Thor fighting Juggernaut. That cover was just amazing.
That's a
Ron
good
Friend's
cover.
artwork. Dude,
Yeah.
it's such a great cover. So that we had the bug bit us, you know, and then my dad had worked with somebody actually, and he owns he's like, I worked with somebody who owns a comic shop now. I'm like, oh, we're like, oh, cool. So then right away we were going to a comic shop. So we were early on just collectors and stuff like that. So that's how we first got into comics. And not my oldest brother, my second oldest brother. He was into drawing. My oldest brother was into writing. I looked up to my second oldest brother, so I would start drawing too. So from a very early age, we were all like just wanting to do all this stuff. So I was fortunate and kept with it and stuff like that. So, oh, pardon me. Like I said, sorry. But yeah, so I did go to college. Like I said, I only went to college though to get out of Ohio. I'm not a big fan of the cold. So I knew how to draw already. I just wanted to get out of the state, and so I went to a college in Florida. But I didn't have to. I already knew the techniques and stuff. But I had great teachers, and I did learn. So it's not like it was without. I just got into massive debt. If you want to get into the fine arts, don't go to college. Go on YouTube, look up stuff. You're way better off.
Oh yeah, at this point, I mean, I went to college for graphic design. And I ended up teaching myself at least 30 to 40% of what I knew at that point in time, and then later on, it was like you graduate, and then you realize everything I just learned for like almost 4 years is obsolete.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and that's the thing. I went to an art institute, so the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. Back then, it was actually kind of decent. While I was in there, though, it started to become more of a college mill and a just money mill than anything. But anyway, I went there, and yes, like the things that I learned, I could have, was pretty much obsolete afterwards. But I went in first as a graphic design degree because they didn't have a comic illustration, an illustration program. So halfway when I was in there, though, they started offering it. And here's how the money scheme kind of happened. Not a lot of my credits transferred over to the illustration program, so I had to take a lot more classes on top of it. So it was like, yeah, thanks, guys. But the teachers I had, they were amazing. I still am in touch with a couple of them today. I can ask them anything, and they will answer me. I still consider them, professors. I don't really consider them friends, even though they are friends. It's weird. Like we're still in the same field now, but I still consider them. It's weird, but so yeah. So that's really. And then after that, though, I fell out of it, man. I fell out of comics for a long time, from the age of like 22. Like when you're talking, I grew up. I was like, oh, girls and alcohol. So there was that, and then I got out of the comics. But after college and stuff, I was like, let's get back into it. I was drawing still. I really wanted to do band art, like album art, poster art, stuff like that. I love doing it, man. Because I like just getting crazy, like listening to a few songs and just like thinking what comes into my stupid brain and just making whatever I want. And then the band members were like, wow, that's really dope. So it's fun to do. And I initially was on my way. I was on my way to actually doing that more and more and more. And then I was like, you know what? I love comics. I want to get back into drawing comics. And I drew a page of a comic book. And I asked my brother, I'm like, hey, dude, do you want to write this? I'm like, because it'll be cool. We can do something together. And he just couldn't think of what to do with it. And after a few weeks went by, and I was like, you know what? I really like this character. And I started going, and next thing you know, Absolute Book 1 came about. So, and that was more or less of a Marvel method where I was just drawing a page and writing it in my head as I went. So it just fortunately fell into place. And I really wanted them to be put out through like Dark Horse or something like that. So I made sure they were 24 pages. Well, 23 were the first two. So 23 pages. And then I could do 3 of them, put it out, submit them to the companies because you needed to be 3 ahead. Put it out through the company, see if they'd approve it. And I was talking to my comic shop guy. He's like, why don't you just go through like Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever? I'm like, I guess that's an idea. And I was also watching Frag on Instagram with Couch Doodles and all that stuff. So he then introduced me to the whole Comicsgate scene, and that's how that came about. And then I followed Frega. I was like, Indiegogo's the way to do it. CG's the way to do it. Let's just do it. And that's how Absolute Book 1 came about. It was already done. And I already had half of Book 2 done because I had 323 pages just finished. So I was ahead of the curve. It was. Wow. That's pretty much how I got into this whole thing. I did do a book before that called not Cancer, that's my thing, called Cannibal Detective. It's not, I did it like 10 years ago before I did all this, so the art style is different. And you could tell I wasn't really up to the level I am now. But it was still a fun project, and I really appreciate them letting me have it and working on it. So it's on Comixology. If you want to go read it, check it out. It's called Cannibal Detective. But that's my first work in the comics. My first published work is mine, which is Absolute Book 1. And then after that, Book 2 came about and stuff like that. So that's kind of a long journey into how I got here.
Jason, I think you answered all of my questions that I didn't have a chance to ask.
I can talk, man. I'm sorry.
It works for me. I'm like, I don't know what to ask him now. So I'm lucky that I'm lucky that the chat's got a couple questions for you.
Okay,
we also
cool.
have someone in the green room too.
Oh, nice.
I Love Haggis says, Jason, if you could tell yourself something at the beginning of your life in comics, what would it be?
The beginning of life in comics, what would it be? Don't stay in back rooms.
What do you mean?
Because my beginning of life in comics is this, like in all reality. Like if he means like actually collecting comics and all that stuff, it would be buy key issues. But no matter the cost of what, because dude, I could have picked up Bone number 1.
Like Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, man.
Bonehead. Just like your old self is just knocking your young girl.
Yeah, exactly, man. There's so many books I could have. I'm like, I had that at the shop. I could have. I worked for comics. I could have just. But no. I mean, like honestly, I kind of wish I never stayed in back rooms, man. I learned some stuff I didn't want to learn. Let's put it that way. I don't want to get into the gritty of it, but I would have been happier, I think, if I didn't stay in the back rooms. But I did meet a lot of cool people, so that I can't really fault it for too much. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, sometimes, how the sausage is made is interesting, and then sometimes how the sausage is made is just absolutely horrifying and depressing.
Yeah.
And then you don't want
the
to eat
pig
sausage
anuses
anymore.
in your bologna. Yeah.
A couple of fingers.
Yeah, you're good sometimes not knowing. Like, do you really want to know what's in ketchup? Do you really want to know what's in ketchup? No, you don't.
I don't want to know what's in ketchup. Ketchup is fine. Ketchup is perfectly.
Ketchup is fine as is, man.
Thing.
Enjoy your ketchup.
All right, man. Oh man. Some person says, "Did you also know he made a comic called Frog G?" I did know that, but before we dive into Frog G, I want to bring on the person who's patiently waiting, and then we'll get into Frog G after that. Is that okay?
That's more than fine with me.
Okay. Let's do that. Here we go. You're on Comic Book Radio. Morb, what's up?
Hey, Morb.
What's happening, Pete? What's happening, Jason? Thanks for having me on. Pete, I'm a huge fan of alternate comics. Hell, I've emailed you a number of times. I'm the one that wears the beanie in the winter. I got tons of Blood Realm. I got tons of Wow, Mr. Crypt, but I love Wolf and Batsy, and you don't ever have those shirts. When you get the shirts available,
They're out.
they're
They're out.
gone,
We do
man. They're
one printing. They're
gone.
gone. But we've got a
Good
campaign
God.
coming up, launching on Sunday on the 5th.
Well,
We've got hoodies coming up,
all right, I got to get on that.
and then
Because-
we'll eventually have another Wolf and Batsy
But
hoodie.
I just want to tell
T-shirt,
Jason,
but that one gone.
So I'm a pal of Luke Aglietta. He's my artist on my book, and you can see it in my avatar's Mercenary Guild from Shattermere Comics. And I'm also visually impaired. I was stricken with keratoconus, and I had a surgery on my left eye, corneal transplant, extremely painful. You're awake through it. But then I got my right eye, I got high drops and it got infected. I got some really bad doctor advice and I lost all vision. The infection got to my retina and my eye deflated. So I'm actually deformed in that part. So I know what it's like to be visually impaired. But I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. And
Still an artist, but go ahead.
of course, I'm a creator.
Yeah.
And but this is a story that's been rattling in my head since 2001. My main character is his name is Malchus. Actually, his name was originally Morbius, and that's where Morb comes from. But I had to change it. So he's a walking wolf, shapeshifter type of guy, and I decided to write a story around him and the town they live in called Saltport, which is kind of like a Gotham City. And so that is a character in the
Nice.
place, and that's really a huge difference between that and Hardly Heroes. Shattermere Comics currently has Hardly Heroes for sale, and it's a great like D&D adventure. And these just nomadic, whack jobs running around kicking ass. And it's a lot of fun, and that's one of the reasons I approached them. And they like my story, and we got in touch with Luke, and we have Eric Weathers on as a letterer, and we just got the colorist, some fella out of Omaha, and things like that. But I just wanted to tell you, Jason, that it's a huge inspiration because I'm 52, and I'll probably end up going blind, or I'll probably need another corneal transplant at some point in time, and it's hard, and people don't understand how hard it is to be visually impaired and to try to get through life and to work and to create and I felt sorry for myself when I lost my eye in 2019. I had a gun in my mouth, and now I'm creating a comic called Mercenary Guild. And,
you took the better path.
I'm doing it, and somebody kicked me in the ass. A friend of mine said, "You've had this story in your freaking head for 20 years. Just do it." So last year in September, I just started to write, and I didn't care about publishing it. I didn't care about a damn thing. I just started to write, and I found that the escapism that Hollywood and comics aren't giving us, I had right there at my fingertips. So I want to tell everybody in chat that it's frustrating that we don't have the escapism, but you can open up a Word document or a Google Docs or whatever, and you can start writing and just start with a character and give them a name and what do they do. And then you peel the onion from there. Who are their friends? Who are their family?
Escape into your own creation. Yeah,
exactly. And that has been a blessing for me. And then I approached a few people, and they liked what I wrote. And I got some hard editing. I got some hard criticism. And but I also got a great artist like Luke Aglietta, who's doing my inks and pencils. And we got Eric Weathers, and we got a great publishing, Shattermere Comics. I just want to encourage everybody that this may never stop this, what they're doing to our what have you. But I left it behind in 2017, and I mourned it. I mourned Star Wars. I mourned Spider-Man. I mourned everything, and I said goodbye. and now I'm saying hello to the stuff that Pete's putting out. Jason,
That's the
Ethan
thing.
Van
You
Sciver,
start
and
creating what you want to make too, and then all of a sudden you start getting more familiar with people who are doing the same thing.
yeah,
And then you
I think
discover a whole other
said,
world of all of that. It's
I
insane.
said on one of your streams, Pete, that how much Wolf and Bassy was fun, and then the creator said on your stream, he goes, "Those are my action figures. I play with those." He mentioned how he was in animation and it sucked. It was this, just this bang away stuff, and then he would get to Wolf and Batsy, and it was like his action figures, and that sparked my these are my characters, and these are my action figures, and this is my sandbox, and I just want to encourage other people to think of it in that way,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing I've always liked about it's a joke, and I don't know if anybody in the chat knows the little joke about the Crack Pack, but they always have the can't stop, won't stop, and I take Crack Pack as a joke and all that stuff, but I love that motto: can't stop, won't stop. Like, I can't stop, and I'm not gonna stop anyway. Like, even if you were trying to make me, so even if life is gonna try to make me stop, I'm not gonna stop. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, no matter what obstacles come your way.
Even if you have to find a different way around it, even if you have to evolve with it, whatever, you're gonna keep doing what you want to do with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and that's great, man. That you're doing it, and I you've been on Topicless, and it was great. It was fun to have you, and Luke's fantastic, man. I couldn't ask for a better companion, better friend. Like I said, he co-hosts Topicless, and he's one of the first few people I met in the very beginning, and we become really great friends. And very
Luke's
happy
great.
we met Luke. Yeah, good dude. So yeah, and I'm happy you met him, man, because you got a great artist there, man. So yeah. Book's gonna be dope.
He's doing some great work. I'm very happy with him. So I'm just glad you guys had me on. And Pete, I'm a huge supporter of Alterna Comics.
Thank you, man.
I probably have over 100 Alterna Comics.
Wow.
So, nice.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I don't think I have 100.
And the hat.
Man.
I got the red hat with the white.
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. Did you pick up King Cryptid at all?
I'm about to pick that up right now.
Oh,
I got the sketch covers, man.
Right now.
I got the sketch covers. I love those sketch covers. So,
they're good, right? They're not like that.
I'm about to pick
Sometimes
up,
the sketch covers have like a coating on them.
Dude, I'm not going to say who, but there was a indie campaign that had. I'm so excited to get it, and I start drawing on it, and dude, the ink is smearing. Even I let it dry for like a day, and then the micron's still smeared on it. I'm like, yours handles pen and ink, man. I'm like, I love these things, man.
I told the printer, I was like, I want covers that are like high quality Bristol.
Yeah,
and they uncoated. Yeah.
Another title I want to throw out there that I really like is Downcast by Clint Stoker. Holy Night. I mean, that guy, again, Clint Stoker just nails it. He's got it, and does a great job. And I think I have a signed copy that I got. And
nice.
He's a dumb.
Also, I love Wolf and Batsy. That is the most fun. If you ever read like Cracked Magazine or like it is, it's so fun and it's so wrong at the same time, and it just clicks, man. I don't know.
It's got a good blend of pre-code horror and 80s horror in comics. Yeah. It's got like a good blend of that.
Yeah.
Nice. But thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm glad you had me on, and I'm glad. And again, Pete, I'm a huge fan, huge supporter, and I love what you're doing. I will pick up all the King. How many issues are there right now?
Well, 1 to 4 are available, but 5 to 9 are funding. 5 to 9 will be out like around June or so. We're gonna deliver all of those.
You do catch-up tiers, right?
And you can get 1 to 9 and do a catch-up tier. Yeah, we got all kinds of craziness on the King Cryptid campaign. So, yeah, but the 9 issues. If you ordered all 9, you get 9 issues in June. Right. So
you saw the King Cryptid sketch cover that Rocafort did, right?
Yes, I did.
So good.
I did.
so good. I'm like, I quit.
He came out of
It's
nowhere with
ridiculous.
that, and we've got like trading card packs too, and I got a bunch of artists to put like sketch cards and stuff, and we'll put those in there. And
Oh,
Ken's
nice.
doing, I think he's doing 2. But he just all of a sudden one day just pops that sketch cover up, and I
Dude,
was like,
that's a real cover. That's not a sketch cover. I'm like, what are you doing?
sketch
You're making
cover.
all of us look terrible.
It's just a scribble.
It's a scribble, yeah. 20 minutes. Thanks,
Incredible. Yeah, man, oh man. But
right, guys.
Morb, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming on
Yeah,
here tonight.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'll leave the studio right now. I'll leave it to you guys. But just thanks for having me on, and thanks for letting me
Always
promote
good
my
to see you.
book. It is just one word, themercenaryguild.com. To get on the mailing list doesn't cost you a dime, and there you go. There's the thing, and doesn't cost you anything. But if you do get on it, you do get a free card drawn by Luke of our female character, and that's the only way you're going to get it.
Wait.
Luke does great women. He draws great women, so yeah.
Just
You wanna go
signing
out?
up or sign up and then back?
Well, you got to sign up and then eventually back. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
But
always a
if
catch.
you just back, you don't
I
get
was
that
gonna
card.
say, like,
Always a catch.
Luke's gonna have his work cut out for him. He's like, you're supposed to say and back.
Yeah.
We got 100 people that signed up.
You
You gotta draw 100
have
cards.
you have to sign up, and then you will get that card if you back. If
Very
you
nice.
just back without signing up, you will not get that card. And I've seen
There you go.
the pencils for it, and again, it's very classy, very sultry, very, very cool.
Luke draws
Very
very
cool.
good women. He draws very good women.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Morb. Have a great
Check
night.
you later,
brother.
Morb.
Hey, you too, man, and keep on keeping on, man.
You too, man. Yeah, Morb's good. Good people.
Yeah,
He's been,
yeah,
on,
he's
he's
a-
been on the show before, so.
He's a good dude. Absolutely. And Spicer McLeroy, speaking of good dudes, Spicer dropping 10 memberships again for
nice.
people in the chat tonight. So there you go. Spicer,
should've been
thank
in
you
the
so
chat.
much. Oh, are you not in the chat?
I don't think I am, but I think I picked
Uh-oh.
one up last time somebody gifted memberships, though. I have to look.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
get
think
very
I think I
generous
picked it up.
people every
Oh,
now and
yeah,
then
they're
dropping
great,
a bunch
dude.
of memberships.
Chat's
and
always,
Spicer,
your chat's always phenomenal, man. I love your chat. Yeah.
oh, they're the best. They're
Yeah.
the best.
They're better than
Seriously.
topicless. Yeah.
Don't we don't need any wars getting started, Jason.
Hey, dude. I think all of topicless's chat is in your chat right
Although
now.
there might be a pretty big crossover.
It might be a little bit of a crossover. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and like topicless, that's something Luke and I do on Tuesday nights, and it's just a draw stream, man. We hang out, we just talk about nothing. First half hour we talk about whatever, and then we invite people on to draw. So half of them don't draw, but that's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Silvar, right there.
Yeah.
So if you guys in the chat have a question for Jason, let me know. Otherwise, I've got one more question for him
Oh,
in particular. So this is an important one. This is
it about
probably
the
the
frog?
most important.
is it
one.
about the frog?
Well, yes, it's that. Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about that.
Oh,
then
wait,
I'll
let's
ask
not-
my important
Are you
question.
sure you don't want to get to
Yeah,
the question
yeah.
first? All right.
Yeah.
I can talk about Frog real quick because it's been the campaign the main campaign. Like I have the sign up one, but the main campaign is Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic, and that's Ink Spots in Me, and Frog G co-owns it as well. But the way that I love this one because it came about because of the fans and because of the chat. Ink Spots and I never intended on doing a Frog G comic. I initially didn't want to do a Frog comic because of Cyber Frog. And I knew we were going to get compared to Cyber Frog. But I had an Absolute Book 2. I had a tier where, instead of drawn in tiers, I had tiers where you could become a trading card and become what's called affected. That's the characters, they're kind of like mutated creatures. So you back it, and then I work with you. You could create your own character, and then it becomes a trading card. Everybody gets it. There's D&D stats on the back, so if you wanted to play them in your Dungeons & Dragons campaign, you could plug them in.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun. So I did it first, Irene. But anyway, I love Irene. Hers is Pathfinder, though. Let's clear that up. But so the two people who backed it, one was Nefarious, and he was a dragon, and I drew that, and it was colored by the great Matt Yackey. Killer card, came out great. The other one was Frog G. He's a mod in the chats. A lot of people know him, a lot of people love him, and he drops links everywhere and stuff like that. And he backed it, and I worked with him. I sketched up the frog, And he's like, "Oh, that's cool, man." And I finished it up a little bit, and then he's like, "Hey, can he have a wrench?" And I'm like, "I'm an idiot," so I gave him a wrench. And Frog wanted him to be a mechanic. He wanted him to have the goatee and beard. He wanted like all the things. I just drew it, and then I'm like, I really love Ink Spots' colors. I've seen him color, Cash Grab. I've seen him color individual pieces, a Dragon Rage piece, which was sick. I was like, I got to get this guy to color my stuff because he has a less traditional comic style and more of a painterly style, and I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, ink is phenomenal. And so when he colored it, and it came out so good that everyone's like, "Oh, when does this comic come out?" And I'm like, "No, this is just a trading card." I'm like, "You guys," everybody was like, "This has to be a comic. We need a Frog G comic." Like people in chats, people on Facebook, people on Twitter, they were comments, "When does this come out?" So Ink Spots and I, we just put it together. Like we got to give the fans what they want. So Frog G is a fan-based campaign. It truly is, and the character and everything came about because of the fans. And we also are cutting Frog himself, the mod, in on the proceeds, so he gets a percentage of whatever the campaign does. He gets a percentage of it, so because he's co-creator. And ever since that, Ink developed quite a lot of the story and the character arcs, and we work in compatico or whatever you want to call it, where I just draw it, he just colors it. We don't really dictate what each other does. It's a total collaboration. It's so much fun, man.
It's like a jam piece.
It's a jam piece, dude.
Like a jam
it's
piece.
a jam piece. Like if you look at some of the pages that are on the campaign, a lot of the stuff that's in the foreground is like any line work you see. Yeah, that's me. Any black line is me. So if you don't see any black line in the background, that means Ink Spots colored the whole background and created the whole background, which he'll do quite a lot. Or sometimes I feel like drawing a background in there. It's a total jam piece. We'll go into Discord and we'll lay it out. We'll plan that part. But it'll be, dude, you've seen layouts. They're stick figures, And I'm like, Ink, don't worry about it. It'll look dope. He's like, yeah, I know it'll look good. And so I just finished drawing it up, and I'll send it to him in a cloud storage thing. He'll pull it up, dude. He'll just color it either digitally. He's been doing a lot of watercolors, a lot of colored pencil. He does a lot of mixed media now. Pure experimental, dude. Frog G is so much fun. And it was never intended to be like it. Frog G was Frog G, the mod, because of the Navy. It was never because of Cyberfrog. So that was a big issue, though, going in. I was like, a lot of people are going to be like, this is because Cyberfrog's popular, so you have a frog book. It's like, no, I have Absolute. I was going to do a Samurai Priest story, not the one that's in pre-launch right now. I have another one. I was going to do a Samurai Priest story for Absolute and to carry on that IP. Ink Spots has a character called Metal Mayhem Rockboy, and he was going to jump into that. So, but Frog G's going to be 3 issues. Once it's done, we're going to jump into those.
Nice.
But, yeah, but we're having so much fun, dude. And it is late. Ink Spots takes full responsibility for that. He said so already. He has. But I'm not throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
But, like I said, life comes first, man.
Absolutely. Real JBC's got a question. It says, what are the 3 most important things to learn as an artist? Like fundamental skills, bedrock type stuff. Man, oh man, we're like 30 seconds from the hour. We'll go an extra 5. We'll do sudden death over time.
I can make it as quick as possible. I would say the fundamentals are the fundamentals. Learn traditional. Like, I know digital is good to learn. Learn traditional first, because it'll only help your digital medium. But learn the fundamentals, crosshairs, learn anatomy, learn perspective, learn all the nitty-gritty, boring crap that nobody... I draw the weird-looking stuff, stretched forearms and weird-looking bulbous heads. But I can draw a traditional character if I wanted to. I just prefer to do it the way I do it because I have more fun that way. Some people have more fun drawing a traditional character. Learn the fundamentals. Know your anatomy. Perspective's a pain. It's hard. Learn it.
Yeah, learn the rules so you can break them.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Dan Plagle, what's up, Dan?
Hey, friend.
Says, get Frog G today, friends. The book is shadow banned, so hot some person's link. Oh, so hit some person's link.
He's probably on his phone.
I was gonna say the book is so hot.
It's so hot
that it's shadow banned.
It is shadow banned. We were shadow banned after the first month, practically. We don't know why. It's okay.
I'm starting to think Indiegogo's got some really messed up code in their system.
I think it might be a coding thing. I really do.
Because it's a weird, all over the place thing.
It's all over the place, and I don't have kids. Inkspots doesn't have kids, but to us, Frog G's an all-ages book. It's no worse than Spider-Man from the 90s. No worse than, like, Grim Fairy Tales. It is a fairy tale. So there's no, like, real blood. There's no swearing, no nudity. It's a fairy tale. So it's an all-ages book is what we say now. I don't know how you raise your kids is the thing. So, but for us, it's all ages. Now, Inkspots and me are not all ages, but the book is. So, yeah.
There you go. And my very important question for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's just I just want to know what's up for you in the future. What are your plans? What do you got going on?
Yeah, After Frog is Absolute. I love, dude. Absolute means a lot to me just because it was something I was going to work on with my brother, and just to carry on Unhinged Entertainment as well, because that's another one of another brother and I's creation. So, but Absolute, it's kind of Absolute is my Sin City. I love Sin City, and that's what it is. It's not a world thing. It's just kind of like a structured thing. So that's what I'm getting into after Frog G. But we're having so much fun with Frog, man. And people need to back it because it's a fun story. Book 2, I'm already started the cover for Book 2.
Nice.
The line art for Book 1 is done. It's waiting on the colors for ink. Ink is drawing the supplemental because he's a very good illustrator. And then I'm inking the supplemental. So after that, it'll be insanely fast after he's done coloring it. So we're not worried about that. But yeah. It's just Frog, man. Frog and more comics. Hopefully, just other fun illustrations. Sub to my channel. You might see some. So.
And for those that might be curious, are you up for commissions or hiring or whatever? And if so, where can they find you?
Yes and no. It depends on the commission. But hit me up at Unhinged Ent on Twitter and ask me. Maybe I can fit you in since I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now. I only have 4 pages left on Absolute One Stormy Night, and then it's done. So I've been doing that because of the thing. But anyway, hit me up at Unhinged Ent on Twitter. I have a Facebook, Jason BASCOM. Twitter's Jason BASCOM. I'm all over the social medias.
All right. Well, there we have it. Thank you so much, Jason. And everybody in the chat, thank you guys as well. Yeah, no problem at all, man. And I'll have to have you back.
Oh,
because,
dude, I'd love to come back.
Brother, you can talk. And that's what I need. I need people who
you
can
just sit
talk.
there and relax and have something.
Exactly. I could just ask I'll have 3 questions. I'll just ask one and you'll answer the other 2. And that makes my life easy.
Hey man, I don't know. I get hyped up on caffeine and I get going.
I love it. I'm telling you, I love it. Because I do the same thing when I'm on interviews. I mean, there's nothing worse than you get someone on and every answer is one word.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, man, I only got 10 questions most here for you.
Yeah,
we're gonna be done in 15 minutes here. I got an hour.
Yeah, I once a week sometimes I'll have somebody on to promote their book, and yes, sometimes it can be brutal. But hey, I'm trying to help. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man, and everybody in the chat. Thank you guys too. Yep. Really appreciate you all here, and. JBC says get him back for a 4-hour show.
Even I'll get tired after an hour and a half. I'm like, I need a 5-hour energy in me. Jeez.
Man, oh man. Blue Teddy, thank you so much. Oliver as well.
Bloody
Sheldon,
Teddy.
thank you for the super chat there. $9.99. Great conversation, guys. I appreciate that, Sheldon. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you guys. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. My guest will be... I'm looking at the... Jeremy Thivino.
Oh.
Zade Studios. Not
Zade.
Yeah.
Zade's dope, man.
Yeah.
Amazing artist. And dude, he could talk. So
he could talk too.
He could talk.
Yes. You guys make me look better. Thank you all, and I'll see you tomorrow night. And again, have a great night, everybody, and an even better tomorrow. See you guys.
I love you.